Welcome to this tutorial. Today, let's build a skills matrix from scratch. So on one side of a grid, we have the staff names. On the other side, we have some skills, and we are allocating a rating for each skill, and then the color changed based on the rating. So green is good, red is not good. We will also have a rating here, a rating of 0, which is when we don't know skill level of a staff. Okay, so this will be the first page. The second tab, we will have targets for each staff. So it can be by team or by staff, but I suggest you do it by staff. And you say, for instance, for this person here, I want a skill of 4, and you would put it here for this 4. For this is less important maybe for them, so a rating of 1 is sufficient. And then you would have a status vs target. So this would tell you how far you are from compliance. Like here, for instance, there's a lot of red here, so that means a lot of people from that area, they needed to keep up the pace. That you need to train them because those skills are critical for them, and yet they are behind. But this team here, they're doing very well. They have plenty of compliance here, and actually you have some compliance C that they have here for each staff and the percentage, and the same for each skill. How many are compliant with this skill here? Remember, if you don't need to be an Excel master, for instance, here this is a skill, this will not count down as you not being not compliant if it's not required by your job or by your manager or by you if you decide so. So here you have the same percentage here. There is another tab where you can just select staff here, and I will give you all the data on one neat little page. There is this chart here that tells you the target in blue and where you are in purple here, and this is in sync with the colors of this. And then you just replicate more or less all the tab here for the staff, and then you have a visual here of how well you are doing. And obviously, when there's nothing, that means there is compliance. And in settings, yes, you can change the numbering. If you just don't want to have 3 levels, just put 3 levels. Here I've put 5 levels here. Novice to expert, some explanation formal, and some explanation a little bit more laid back if you like. And support needed is also a good way to see where you are with your skill. If you have a constant need of being helped, that means that you need to be upskilled. Okay, let's build this from scratch. Welcome to this tutorial. We'll be building a competency skills matrix or skills matrix for your staff today. Or for yourself, maybe, who knows? So first thing that we do is we build a grid, the usual dreaded grid. So we just put all borders here. So it's up to you how many columns you want on the left, but I suggest you have one for the, let's say, the staff name, the role maybe, and then the team. So this will be those 3 columns here that I will be adding on the side. Just put everything here on the side like this. And then at the top, I'm just going to leave this one blank, and I will be putting the different skills here. So I'm going to start with the skill 1. Okay. And I'm just going to drag this down, and you'll have a lot of skills here. So if you want if you have longer skill names that here, and it's very likely, what you want to do is you want to go under, home alignment. And you might want to put counterclockwise here. And then based on the length, it will show you this diagonally here, like this. So it's up to you if you like this or not. I'm just going to add another grid here. And once you're here, you play around with those. Never know really which one takes you where, because it's like looking at the world upside down. So I think this is the best to have it at the bottom and the center here. And you have this. Something I like to do is I like to go under View and remove the grid lines. Okay, so this way it's very clear what we are doing. So now I'll be going away and add a few roles and teams here. Okay, now I just added some names, some roles, and some teams actually, and I've created 3 teams. So this way that will help us understand the other tabs. But if you want to have something very simple, you can just stick to this tab here. So as I would like to have this more like a square than a rectangle, so I'll be selecting all those columns, and I will be just reducing them. So Still a little bit of width, I suppose, so that it doesn't look too too tiny. So this will do, and maybe I will put the stuff a little bit bigger like this. So okay, so now it's going to be very easy to select a skill if we decide first how we're going to create those the skill levels. So what I want to do is I want to have 5 skills level. Let me just write that down, with 0 being we don't know, unknown. And that's something that I don't see usually in skills matrix, but sometimes when you have a new staff, or if you didn't get a chance to ask everyone if they're good or not at this, you don't know. So you don't want to put one, you just need to check with them. And I think this is a good idea. I'm not only saying that because it's my idea, but I think it's a good idea to do this. So 1 being the lowest level of skills, so the difference between not knowing and knowing nothing, I suppose. And 5 will be the top. So I'll be providing examples. But for the moment, I'm just going to say 1 is the lowest and 5 is top. And so here what we have is we have a validation table here. So here I'm just going to call this settings, so you can change that later on, settings. And this will be the main dashboard, I suppose. Let's call it dashboard. Okay, let's not go too crazy here. So what we want to do for all this, we want to select everything, and we're going to put data and data validation here. And we want to go under here, lists. We want to click on the source. And while we click on the source, we go to the other tab, and we're going to select the 5 here. Okay, so we press OK. And here we go. So once we're here, then you can select 0, 1, or 0, 1, 2, 3, 5, and the likes. So now what I want to do is I want to center everything, go home and center it. So once this is done, what you can do is you can start applying the ratings here, 2, 3, 1, this one will be 0, and the likes. So actually I'm also going to put this in the center here in the middle. So now the next step is just to give some color coded to this. So you can use it this way, obviously. Here you go, you already have your skills matrix here and who knows what. But it'd be nice to add some coloring. So the first coloring that I would like to do is, I want to do it manually. Here I have grouped by teams. So here you can take a very light color here, maybe let's say very light blue for this one. This one is team 2 that I want to put. All the project manager will be in a different team because they will need different skills, I suppose. If that makes sense. And this will be the team 3, all these, and I will be giving it another color as well. So this, I could have automated it, but there will be enough conditional formatting and all that, so it's just optional for you to know. And let's say, don't look at this example too closely because it's not the case, but you could say that this team here needs to have those skills. And this team here needs to have those skills in green. And we'll see later on, if you are doing the other tabs with me, you'll see how that this can become handy. But I wanted to do it manually. I mean, there's ways to automate with team and the likes, but I think this is going to make it far too complicated. And let's say you want to change, put this one in team 1 and the likes, you can do it all manually, so that's fine. So here that gives us an idea of the team 3 needs to have those skills, but it's only visual for the moment. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to give some coloring. So what I suggest we do is and you can actually practice here in a way. For 0, I want to have some type of gray, I don't know. For 1 and 2, I want to have some reddish. You select some reddish here. For 4 or 5, you want to have some green. And for the one in the middle, it's something neutral, maybe some orangey type. So if I go on the page layout, I have my own color here called the vibrant color. So I like to use this one usually, but for this demo here, I'm just gonna stick with this. So this is not really red, actually. It's I like to have something a bit more red. So you can take this red here and lighten it a bit. Actually, more colors. You can lighten it a bit. That would be the first level, and then the very bad one. More colors. I want to have a still red, but a little bit deeper here using this slider here. Okay, so we can use this. And here I can have a stronger green. Okay, and this doesn't stick out enough. I want to have this color here. Okay, so this will be the color that we want now that we have created them. So it's just a matter of going back here and do some conditional formatting. Conditional formatting, you could go directly to highlight sales rules that are equal to, for instance, equal to 0. And then by default, you have this light red, but you go under custom format instead. And here you go under fill. And this is where I think we decided to go with gray when it's 0. So we press 0 here. Okay, so all the zeros are gray. Now I'll be just selecting everything again. And instead of doing the same thing, I'm just going under manage rules. And I'll be duplicating this one, duplicate rule here. And I'm just going to duplicate it several times. So we should have 6 values in all. Okay, let's go for the first one. Cell value equal to 1. And this is the red that we want. Unfortunately, it doesn't show me the red that I built just before. So I'll just selecting this one, more colors. And I'll be putting a light, actually a bit of a deeper red here. This is for the 1. For the 2, I'll be just putting equal to 2 here. And I will be going under these fill effects. I mean, you could, oops, sorry, not fill effects, more colors. You could just select, if you're not as fussy as I am, you could just select the colors that you want. But I just like to have some specific colors. So here, put a very light red here. Let's do a first check to see if there's a bit of a difference. Yeah, it's a little bit in your face, but we can still arrange that later on. So and I will be doing the same for the 3 or this one. For the 4. And for the 5. It is going to be too strong, maybe. Okay, so this is very ugly. I would like to change this at some stage, especially the 3. So once again, same principle. You go under this, like for instance, I don't like the 3, just too strong. You go under more colors and then you put a lighter one. Okay, the 1 is just too strong as well. I don't like it, so I just put something, still has to be stronger than the other one. So now they are exactly the same. Let's put this one then, a much lighter one. Okay. Okay, this is better in my view, So you could be fancy with a 0. You could just, if you don't want a 0 here, you could go into conditional formatting. Might as well use Excel, Microsoft full strength. Here, instead of graying out, so sometimes I go a bit too fast. So if you select the 0 ones, you go in the format and the fill. Here you could put a pattern style that you like. For instance, the diagonal stripes like this. That might be a bit strong for color. Pattern style. We don't see it anymore. Pattern color. Yeah, okay, so that might be a bit too strong, but I'm not gonna spend the full tutorial mucking around with colors. So okay, so this is it. So you have your first tab here. You have a good idea of where things should be. You have your teams if you want. Now, what I said I wanted to do is I wanted to have targets. And this is going to be interesting. what I'll be doing is I will be creating a copy of this tab here, create copy, and I will be putting it wherever, and I will be putting just after the dashboard here, and I'm just going to call this targets. I'm just going to insert a quick note here, just to let you know that once you have copied the status tab into the target tab, you'll notice that you have everything, came back. So you have the overall formatting and analysis, that's all very good. But you need to, as everything will be hard-coded, because we've just input the names here directly, you don't want to keep the name hard-coded. You need to refer back to the first tab. So here you go on the top on the first name and you say equal to, you put equal to, you go back under the status and you put the staff name here. And for role the same, equal the role, and the team equal the team here. And then you can take all these and you can do a paste special. Do a paste special if you want to keep your formatting. Paste special with formula only. And that's it. And then in the status, if you change this resource with Robert, for instance, Robert, the target, and then you will have Robert. Because if you just copy and paste, obviously you will have all these hard-coded. Okay. For the skills, if you are planning to vary the skills, you have to do the same thing then. You just put equal to, and you go here. And then you take this and you do a copy and you do a nasty paste special and formulas only. And obviously, when we look at the last tab, it has to be done exactly the same way. Okay, so remember, you just put everything here. This is where you'll be hard coding your employee, your staff. Here, this is where you'll be hard coding your skills. And then it should follow to all the other tabs automatically. So this will be the target that you want for each team. Like for instance, for the team 1, business analysts, we want them to be very efficient in those skills here. So let's say, well, you can decide, do you want a 3 or do you want a 4? Do you want a 3, which is average, 4 better? Maybe you start with a 4. Okay, you want all those guys to be a 4. This is a target. Okay, so you want the team 1 to be a 4 in this. You want and for the rest, for the other guys, the project manager doesn't really need this, but maybe a little bit. So you could put a 3 for all the PMs in all those skills. And of course, you can be more granular, but I'm just going to. And then for the designer here, for those skills, let's say it's not important. As I was saying, don't pay attention to the skills there. They're just as examples, so they might not be reflecting the real world, life world. Okay, so really, you really want the business analyst to be very good in this. And actually, that might be a skill. Let's say this skill here, we want them to be a 5. Okay, in this. So this is your target for those skills. And then for project managers, you could have them. You want them to be a 4 in all those skills here. In all those skills here. And here I'm just going to put the business analyst. Don't really need to. You can leave them in 1. And then those ones, maybe you want them to be a 2 in this. So obviously, I'm repeating myself, but you can be as granular as you want. And I'm going to leave those like this, just for exceptions. And then the designers here, you want them to have those skills. So here I'm going to say, well, I want a 5 for all those guys. Come on. We want the best in business. We want a 5 for all those guys. And I'm just going to, maybe there's a team lead somewhere who needs more, I don't know. Just going to leave this. Okay. So now you have your targets. Emma White, she's a designer in team 3. We wanted her to have a skill of 5, the highest knowledge possible for the skill 13. So this is how it works. This is the current situation. This is what we want. What's missing? What's missing is where we at. So we need yet again another tab, move or copy, and then create a copy. And then we'll be putting it here. Okay. So it's not really a variation, it's more the status. I would call this, give it a long name, status vs target. I know it's long, but I want to make sure people understand, okay? So here, and this is important that we have things at the same part, I suppose, is what is the status vs target? It means is how far are we from our goal? So here, for instance, let me remove all this so there's no confusion here. Here, team 1, James Wilson, the target was 4, and he is at 1 this slack. Okay, so that's not good. So how far is he from the target? So we're going to start with where he is at. So I will put equal. I go to where he's at now. I'm going to click on this if I can. I'm going to click on this very first one, and I'm going to deduct the target from it to see how far it is from the target. Okay. Here doesn't let me because I left the validation. So I need to go under data validation, and I need to data validation here, sorry. And I need to allow any value here because I still want to validate. And this will be automated, obviously. So this is not something you can input. Okay, now I have to do it again. Is equal to where is that? Minus the target. So is minus 3. So what does that mean? That means he is 3 points away from his target. And let's say he works hard, and it turns into a 5. So status vs target will be a 1. Now we'll need to change and I'm actually going to clear the conditional formatting here, clear rules from selected cells here. So if we copy that across the board or drag it across the board, we should have that for every skills here. So this one's got 0. So let's say it's got a skill of 4. The target was 4, therefore the status is 0. Okay, so now we need, as usual, to add some color-coded. So when you review this, you know very quickly the compliance. So I could have called this tab the compliance. Where are we at with our targets? And here, I suppose I should maybe just simplify. I don't want to add too many colors. I'm just going to do a very simple conditional formatting. The one that are greater than, I want to have a greater or equal to 0. So this is not going to work. New rule, cell based on that contains cell value is greater than or equal to 0. That should be green because we are compliant here. Okay, so I'm just going to give a pale green here. Okay, so that gives you an idea of compliance. And then all that is not compliant is compliant and vice versa. So here I could just put all the rest in red, I suppose. So this is it. So that gives you an idea of where you are from your target. Like, for instance, here, this team here supposed to know all this, and they know the wrong thing. And obviously, this is because the target was very high, and they are all rubbish here. But if you train them, if you work hard for them, you go back here, and it's all a sea of compliance here. So this is quite good. I mean, you can even do some stats here. For instance, for this one, how many are compliant by doing a very basic COUNTIF. This is not part of the training, but I'm just giving you this as a freebie, I suppose. COUNTIF, all this is greater than, greater or equal to 0. Okay, he's doing the usual. He's doing the usual. I want more. I want them cut down by arguments. Okay, here you go. Happy? Okay, and here. Those skills, you know, how many are compliant here for these skills. And then you can do the same here, I suppose, on the other side here. Let me just change this for this person here, how compliant he is, easy. So who's got the highest level of compliance? Ooh, these guys are very compliant here. So you can go crazy with those stats. So just in case I went a bit too fast here, I'm just doing also a countif. How many of those are greater or equal to 0? So that means that they are the level of compliance. They have a lot of slack here. Obviously, they're all over the place here, but the targets was very high. This is a starting point. And then as you do the dreaded performance reviews, you can review the skills and the likes. So this is it. So this is good. You have, let me just put some this here. Okay, so you have the where people are at here, the dashboard. Oh, actually, I just want to rename that the status. Actually, put you out of your misery, and then the targets, and then the status vs target. So what we can do now is we can also have a look at a specific employee. I don't know how to call this one. Maybe call it employee, and we put an employee name here. So what I could do is, I'm just going to put something very, very strong here. And I'm just going to do a data validation, because I want to select an employee here from the list, and the source, I'm going back to status, and I'm going to select all the staff names here. I'm going a bit fast here because I think you've done that before. We've done that before together. And then here you select one. Okay. And here I want to bring back for that very specific staff, I want to bring back the status, the target, and the status vs target. That we should be able to calculate it. So I don't think we'll need to bring it back from the third tab. So there are several ways to do this. I could do a nasty XLOOKUP all the lines, but what I want to show you today is the filter. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to filter, and we select an array. So it's a little bit like when you have a table and you use the filter on the table. So the array will be all this. Actually, I can't remember if we need to, well, I'm just going to take everything here. The array will be all this. And what do we include? We include this. Select just the names here is equal to the one that we have here, to this. I want to try to put less, to bring back less, to see if it works. Yes, okay. So what I'm doing here, I'm just going to select from the F. So just in case you didn't get it, I'm just doing a filter on all this table here. Actually, I'm just starting here. This is much more flexible than I thought. You just select only these, and you do a filter based on that column here that is equal to the employee name that I gave. You could also bring back the role and team, I suppose. So it's up to you. Okay, I'm going to do it then. ED. So if you see, it brings back the role, team. And here, if you're a bit anxious because you don't see the conditional formatting, you can go here, select one, format painter, and you go back under employee, and you format paint all this. Okay. Now we want to do the same thing. I'm just going to copy and paste this. Don't know if it's very smart yet. Now it's bringing me this because there's Ruby here on the left-hand side, and this is what it selects. So I wanted to go under another array now. I want to go under targets, and I want to select, what do I want to select now? This. Okay. And the condition is this is equal to the employee. So let's Let's see if it works. 𝙑𝙯𝙀𝙯 𝙬𝙯𝙀, and here I'm just going to put back to this. Right, okay, he was not happy because he couldn't find it. I'm sure that there is if you go back under here, there is usually an if empty here, or here I could put not found, because this is the problem he thought there was. So there was, the employee was not found, but here he will always find it because we use a data validation, so he will always find it. Same format painter here. Okay, so what do we have? Let's just put some, put that a little bit smaller if you like. Let's put some names here. So this is the status. This is the target. And this is status vs target. It's a bit long, I know, but it could be compliance. Okay, I'm just going to put compliance. I'm going to go crazy today. So here he is at 1 and is supposed to be at 4. So it's equal to 1 minus 4. So he's at -3. That is not good. That is not good. So I'm going to take the conditional formatting from here. Format painter, employee, and we have this here. View, grid line off, please. So you have this, so gives you an idea for an employee of your choice. See, you know, if there's a lot of red, if there's not a lot of red. Now you can have a look at this differently. Now some like to have those. And here, I suppose I would need to have the, I'm just going to bring back the skill here. So we know at least what we're talking about here. So just going to drag that across. So we have the skills. And I will be going under home and pressing this. We'll worry about making all that pretty later on. So you have the skills and this. So what I like to do, and I'm not sure if it's very nice, but I just want to show it to you just in case you want to have it. You go under some types of recommended chart, you go under all charts, and here you select the radar, I think radar, okay? So radar with markers, no markers, I don't know what that is, but you know, this is all filled in if you like, but I just gonna show it to you for so that you can have a look. If you want to do this, like, you know, you can see, and the target here, you can add it. You just select the target here. You just copy it. You click on the chart, and you paste it. So the target, if you like, you can actually, maybe you should have the target. Let's say I'm just going to put this tab color in blue here. The target will be in blue. The current status, we can put that maybe in purple. So here we select back. So this is the target. So we'll put it in blue. It's already more or less in blue. You go into format, shape outline. You give it a bit of a blue. So we know this is the target, and the current status here. No, this is the target. Beep, 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 beep. Okay, I was going to say, and this is the status, which should be in pink or purple or plum, as I think they call it. So, okay, so this is the target, and they are slacks. They are not doing good towards the target. So that's one way to visualize it. Whether you like it or not, I think it's all a bit gimmicky. So I'm not really selling it to you. But that's an option if you want it. Now, another way, if you want, that you could use also is based on the compliance here. You could select the headings, press on the Control key and select the compliance and just put insert. And you go under recommended chart as a starting point, always good. But after you go under all chart, and here you could put something, a nasty one like this, for instance. So that will show you what is compliant and what is not compliant. There are ways to give different colors to this, but for the moment I'll just be leaving it this way. All right, so here you have another way to visualize where you add. So this guy is obviously not doing very well. So if we take someone else, so you should have everything above more or less. But we've been a bit hard in our targets. So okay, so that's another way to have a look at it. You could just match it exactly as a width. You could remove. You click on the grids. You remove the grids. You click on the sides, and you do a format shape outline, and you put no outline. That's another way to do it. If you want fatter columns, format data series, and here you want to reduce the gap width. Well, let's not get carried away. Okay, 100%, and then you can give this the color that you want. Oops, not that, but now, okay, I'm just going to have to give it to you. If you want to have two different colors for the above and not, so what you do is, if this is smaller than 0, I'm just going to copy it here. So here I want to put all the negatives. So this way we have two series, and here I'm going to do the opposite. If this is greater or equal to 0, I just want to copy it here. This way we'll have two series, and then we can, as we have two series, we can have one in red and one in green. I'm not obsessed, but not far. Okay, so insert recommended charts, and here what's important is that you go under not the clustered, that you go under the stacked. Okay, so this way the stack, they're supposed to be one on top of the other, but as they are mutually exclusive, that will give you the impression that there's only one. Okay, and now you can see that they have different colors. So this other one here, I'm just going to move it down, and this one you can see that it has different colors. So you can say the one above, it's all green. The one below is red. Okay. That's another way to have a look at it, I suppose, for each employees. Let's have a look if it works. Ooh, this guy's not doing well. All right. Okay. Now, if you don't like this, you can copy it somewhere else. Now, if you want to hide it, be careful. I always say that, but it's worth saying again. If you want to hide it, the chart's going to disappear, and that could become a mess. You might have to reformat it after. So what you want to do is you right-click on the chart, you go under Select Data, you go under Hidden and Empty Cells, and here you have to put Show Data in Hidden Rows and Columns. Press OK. So now, because that we don't really need it, it's just for the chart. If you want to select those two rows, you go under Data, you go under Group, and then you can hit them this way. So this other chart here, you don't really need it anymore. So you have the other one here. Okay. So I think we have a starting point here. Now, just to go into a bit of fine tuning, what I like to do usually is to have a bit of a background. So different background. So it's I like to have either a very light gray or a very light yellow as a background. This way, those cells really stand out more, I suppose. But this first, I would like to put something, for instance, a deep background and a white font. Here you can put some text here if you like. The skills matrix. It's just in case nobody noticed it. Here you can just merge those and put, it's not really a skills matrix, but compliance probably someone's going to have a better name than that, I'm sure. So you can put something, I don't know, is that going to work? Maybe not. Okay, so what did I want to say here? Okay, right-click on Normal, Modify. You go under Format, and if you want a different background, you just put a different background here. So you can put a very light gray, I suppose. Okay, so he's put everything in gray. So now the things that you haven't colored, you can put it in white here. So what you say, you might not like it, you might like it. So this way I give you the choice. The thing is it does this across the board. So if you want to change the others, you can. If you just want to leave it, that's fine. Let's see if it impacted that. So this is better. I think in this way these charts stand out. So that would require a little bit. Just try to align as many things as you can. I think this is a basic rule, and also don't try to have too many colors, he says. So here the same, here format, you might want to have them maybe a bit closer together. Yes, 80%. If you want to be fancy, you can give them a very soft outline, shape outline, a deep green for this. And for that one's here, a deep red. Okay. Not really sure if the background here needs to be white. If you go to shape fill, am I still recording this, or am I still rambling to myself? Still recording, Ben? Oh, there's probably no one watching now, is it? If you are still watching now, put it in comment, please. I actually put that in one of my videos, 1 hour and a half, and someone said, yes, Ben, I stuck to the end. Oh, that's good. Okay, so bold. Now, this is serious. So obviously, if you haven't done all this, there's the link in the description where you can get it. Now, what takes me the longest usually is just to fine-tune the colors, finding the right colors for everything and the like. So it's really, bearing in mind that you can also hide. If you don't want to have the numbers, if you just want to have colors, and this would be the last thing, otherwise I'm going to go on forever. Maybe on this one would make more sense. There is format cells. You right-click and you go into format cells here. I don't think I'll be leaving this just to give you an idea of if you want to do it. What Excel or Microsoft does for formatting is separates the negative, the positive, and the zero values with semicolons like this. So if you put 3 semicolons like this, it tells you, you're telling Excel, I don't want any formatting for the negative. I don't want any formatting for the positive or for the negative, or for the nil, 0. And I think the 4th one is for text. So if you do this, everything goes. So that you might prefer to have it this way. The only downside, I suppose, it doesn't tell you how far you are from the target for some of those. Here, you're very far from the target, and the others is very close to the target. Okay, so now I'm just going to go under Gemini and check what are the 5 what I could put here for several levels of skills. But in any case, thank you. Please like this channel video if you like. I've heard that's going to bring me thousands of subscribers. But if you want to subscribe, or if you want just have a look at some of my videos, I'm doing plenty of training. So you could benefit from it, I'm sure. Okay, all the best.